Hello, my name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Mary Parker. She is a STEM-focused ICF certified coach, and she works with early career clients to discover who they are as individuals and help them to identify the skills required for career advancement in challenging technical positions. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate your time today.
Well, thanks very much for having me today. It's a wonderful day. Thank you for the opportunity.
Excellent. What was life like before you got into coaching, and what was the catalyst that brings you into the field?
When I was an engineering manager at an auto company for a long time. And one of the things that I so enjoyed the most about my career, like especially the last 10 years, was working with people who are early in their career. After the purge, what we call the purge in 2008, where, there was a tremendous loss of jobs in the auto industry. And little by little, we started to hire back. And after a period of time, we started hiring a lot of people right out of school. And we hadn't had any of those type of folks for a while. So we really had to start over and restructure some of the way we did business because, we had to spend a lot more time teaching and coaching other people to be, learn how to do the business within the side. And that was tremendously satisfying because not only was I able to work with them from a tactical perspective, but I really got into who they were, who they are, what do they really want to be. And it was just so fascinating, so satisfying to work with them and see them personally grow. And so I loved it so much. I was just so excited every time I got to hire a new person because I'm like, oh, yay, I get to help somebody else. And so after a long time, I just got tired of being an engineer. So I decided that the time was right for me to jump out of the auto industry and then become a coach full time, because that's the thing that I found that satisfied me as an internal person the most. Yes, I loved being an engineer. I loved working for the auto companies. It was a great time. It was fun to work on cars and deliver great products. But from just a soul nurturing perspective, the working with those people earlier in their careers was the most satisfying. So that's why I decided to change.
So let me ask, what are the main problems that people usually try and fix when they come to work with you?
Well, there are a couple of things that are going on. One, they've gotten out of school, they got their degree, they got their first job, and then they kind of look around and say, is this it? Or they find that what they thought was engineering isn't exactly the same as what they had when they were in college, or they found a different role. And then now they're really starting to understand how engineering really works instead of just doing the book learning. How do you interface with people? How do you be able to craft a career? Because, we spend, 4 or 5 years in college, learning all this technical stuff. And, everything that is focused on cramming in, all the technical business. But what's really key in being successful is interpersonal relationships and leadership skills and emotional intelligence. And they just don't teach you that in school, right? So one of the things that a lot of places do is they advance people because of their technical merit. Well, then they don't have the people skills, and then they are miserable as a boss. And what happens when you have a miserable boss or someone without the skills? You get people who are working for a bad boss.
Yeah.
So if I could save a generation, or at least some people, of having, from having a bad boss in their career, by, having them, nurture their skills to being a good leader, then that's going to save a lot of people a lot of angst. So it's really exciting. So that's the key, that what they're looking for is trying to understand, do I want to be a boss? How do I be a boss? And some of them, they're in their late 20s. You're just, you're in the world. sometimes you still have that personal growth left, and trying to figure out how do you want to be as a human being.
Mm.
And so you're not just a working stiff. I mean, you have a whole life. I mean, there's everything, you've got your home life, your work life, your family, your friends. There's a lot more to life, to working than just the job itself. So
Let me ask you this question. So for those watching who might be entering their career, just getting started, what are what what are some ways to identify, whether or not you would make a good boss?
that's a great question. First of all, is the desire to be the boss, right? You want to be able to do it, but you also want to do it for the right reasons. Um, a lot of people think, well, I want to be the boss because I want to make more money, or I want to be the boss because it gives me prestige. Um, I used to say, before I became a boss, I thought I want to be a boss because I don't have to work all day, because I want to be the one giving out the work. I don't want to have to, do it. Well, guess what? That's not how it works. So how, if you're going to be a good boss is, how many people come to you wanting you to be on their team? How many people are coming to you saying, all right, we need some help. Can you lead this project? How many people are coming to you that says, we really enjoy having you around in our office. We need to have you there a little more often. So if you have that kind of interaction with other people, chances are you have some great potential. Now, the opposite is true. If people aren't coming to you to do that, you've got some work to do, right?
Mhm.
So if you're not being sought out, there's probably a reason, and we can certainly explore why that is, especially if you want to start to get ahead.
Nice. You know, what are some of the main reasons that you see that people are not, just like you're saying, the converse of people not wanting to work with you? What is like some of the main reasons?
Why people don't want to work with you?
Correct.
Okay. One thing that is really tricky is a lot of people, the whole portion of emotional intelligence is the number one is understanding who you are and recognizing how you impact others. There's some really great people out there that just don't have any idea how their words are landing on somebody else. And so it's not so much that they're a jerk or insensitive, it's just that they're just simply not aware. So first and foremost is self-awareness, right? And then second is how aware of other people in your interaction. Um, we all know sometimes you say something and it's like, oops, that came out wrong. Well, but some people don't even recognize that, oops, that came out wrong.
Mm.
So that's part of the thing, is doing an intensive look at yourself and being honest with yourself and how you interact, and more importantly, getting some feedback from others as to, it's like, wow, oops. So I went through this one training. It was great. But one of the things was, it was a 360 evaluation. So you had all these different things of different input that was anonymous, and you got enough people to do it, then you really got some true information.
Mm.
And just understanding the types of conflict dynamics and saying, wow, I had no idea that was really destructive. So just being more of a student of people is really critical.
Okay. Well, so just kind of switching gears and winding down, what does the vision for your life look like?
For my life, my vision for my life is just enjoying who I am and being with my husband and helping others. The two of us have been through a lot the last several years, because my husband has had some rather challenging health conditions. And so after all the near misses that we've had, just being able to enjoy our life and be together is just priceless. And that's also part of the reason why I retired, because I want to make sure from my day job, so to speak, is so that we could spend as much time as we could together. And then the coaching is for me to help me nurture myself by nurturing others, if that makes sense. So my vision is to just live life to our fullest and enjoy it every single day.
Nice. You know, where can people go to either learn more about you, or where can they go to connect with you further?
You certainly can message me on LinkedIn, or you can drop me an email at mrp3@navigatelifechallenges.com. I'd love to hear from you.
Excellent. Thanks so much for your time today, and thanks for, coming on the show.
Well, thanks, Bryce, for having me. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Excellent. And, for those watching at home, we thoroughly hope that you got some great value out of this. Now, if you want to go and join a community where other people are improving themselves and helping others do the same, I recommend you go and check out our free community. There's going to be links either above or below the video. Now, inside of this community, it's basically a mastermind where people come together and support and uplift each other every single day. So if that is what you have been searching for, go ahead and join us inside the community by either clicking above or below the video. And I cannot wait to see you inside and help you out. Now, hopefully you enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit that share button so other people can get some great value as well. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. See you later. We're done recording in 3 and 2 and